Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back, and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes testing new makeup. Before we talk about today's video, let's preface this with the fact that I just came back from working out. I do boot camp at 5 a.m. in the morning outside, and it is rainy and full of mosquitoes here. So it was quite a challenging workout. So that's why my hair's up in a ponytail. Of course, I'll come back at the end and I'll be all put together for today. But I just wanted to preface that with, this is the post-workout look. And today I'm really excited to share with you the new Glamlite Hershey'S collection. So I decided to go ahead and pick up the cookies and cream portion of the release. Now they put out the regular Hershey's milk chocolate, which was much more of a neutral brown toned palette lip kit as well as highlight. I decided to go ahead and go with cookies and cream because it was a little bit more cool toned, a little bit more colorful, and it just arrived. It took a while for it to ship, which is fine, which is to be expected from indie brands or independent owned brands. But today we're going to test out the eyeshadow palette, the highlighter palette, and the lip kit. So if you're excited, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, turn your bell on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week, and I do lots of makeup tutorials, testing new makeup, so definitely subscribe. Down below, I will link the Glamlite Hershey's collection, both of them, both the neutral palette as well as the cookies and cream, with a discount code for you. It is not my discount code, it is the code that I use to save 15% on my purchase. I did look on the Glamlite website this morning and the whole collection is still available, so I'll link it down below, along with my favorite beauty boxes, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing in today's video, if you would like to recreate this look, and come follow me over on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. Let me zoom you in and let's play with the Glamlite Cookies and Cream Hershey's collection. So I've already done my base makeup. The only thing I didn't do, I did blush, I did bronzer. The only thing I haven't done yet is highlighter because we have a highlight duo in this collection. This is the Hershey's Cookies and Cream Highlight Duo. It does have a mirror in the palette. I'll go ahead and insert close-up swatches for you here, but I was so excited about this. I love that there's more of a gold-toned highlighter, and then there's that typical icy white highlight that is my all-time favorite, that more kind of seen from space highlight. So I was really excited to see this little duo is part of the collection. And today I want to try out both highlighters. We're going to use one on one cheek, one on the other, so that we can test them out, see the formula, see if they're that seen from space that I typically get from Glamlite highlighters. So let's go ahead and start with the gold tint, the gold highlight, picking that up on a highlighter brush. This one is actually from Laura Lee Los Angeles. And we're going to apply the gold shade on this side. So I'm going to swipe that on my cheek. Ooh, she's pretty. Okay, that is beautiful. I feel like for Glamlite, this is definitely more natural looking. A lot of their highlighters, especially like their Scooby-Doo collection, I did just buy their Rick and Morty highlights, stay tuned for testing new makeup, are a little bit more bam at first application. And I feel like this is a little bit more natural, which is not a bad thing because not everybody wants that really bold highlight. So I'm gonna try to build it up just a little bit more and pick up a little more on my brush. By the way, the Hershey's embossing in the pan, so cute. Swipe that on. Okay, so you are able to build that up a little bit. So that is absolutely beautiful. So you can get a little bit more bold highlight if that's what you're after. Let me wipe my brush off, and now let's go into the more white shade. And we're going to apply that to this cheek. Ooh, that's really beautiful. So again, a little more subtle, which is not a bad thing. So let me pick up a little more and again, build it up like we did with the other shade. Oh yeah, we can definitely build that up. So let me show you. Here is the gold highlight side, and here is the more white highlight. Both of these, I have to say, absolutely beautiful. There's definitely a difference between the white and the gold side. So what I'm going to do, just to make myself look a little bit more even, I do have some errands to run this morning, is I'm going to pick up a little more of the white and just kind of brush that over the gold. pick up a little more of the gold, brush that over that white side, just to kind of use both shades. Put a little down the bridge of my nose. I usually do a tiny bit on my forehead, my Cupid's bow. This is stunning. I mean, both of these highlights are beautiful. What I like about them is they sunk into the skin. They're not sitting on top of my skin. They definitely sunk in and they look natural but bold. Like I said, they go on a little bit more natural, so you can build them up or not build them up depending on your preference for highlight. But I'm really happy that I have this. One other thing quickly is I did save some packaging when I did the swatches. So all of the collection comes in what actually looks like the Hershey bar wrapper. It is a little Ziploc resealable bag. So this is the one that the highlighter palette came in. The eyeshadow palette and lip kit came in the same packaging. Glamlite just nails it with their packaging. So now we're going to test out the Glamlite Cookies and Cream 12 color eyeshadow palette. There is a mirror in this palette as well, and this is definitely a cool toned dream. We do have some neutral shades. There is a taupey brown shade. There's some gray leaning shades. There's light, there's mid-tone and deep shades, not a lot of light mattes. And then there are some absolutely stunning shimmers. So we have 2, 4, 6 shimmers and 6 matte. So like I said, you could do more of a neutral leaning look. Definitely more of like a blue cool tone look would be beautiful with this palette. I think today I want to utilize as many of the shades as possible, and I definitely want to do kind of a smoky eye, a cool smoky eye. So the first thing I'm going to do, as always, is to prime my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. I use this every time I apply eyeshadow. For me, using an eye base, number one, helps with any fine lines and wrinkles. I am almost 48, so I do have some fine lines and wrinkles. It also helps just hold my shadow in place all day and prevents creasing of the shimmers. And really the best part about a primer is I feel like you get the true opacity of both the mattes and the shimmers. I will have my MAC Paint Pot and, like I said, all the other makeup that I'm wearing today linked down below for you. So I do want to test out the one brown leaning shade in the palette. None of these shades have shade names. They all have the Hershey's embossing, which again, super, super cute. I do want to use that brown shade on a big fluffy brush, and I want to use that as essentially a transition shade. This is a neutral shade, but it is a cool tone neutral, which I actually really like that. I think it's a nice addition to the palette, not only for a neutral shade, but also, like I said, a really good cool toned transition shade. So I'm just going to buff that into my crease and a little bit above my crease. I do like this shade. It's pretty. It's definitely lighter applied to the eyes than it looks in the pan, which is a good thing because, like I said, there really wasn't any light mattes, more mid-tone and deep matte. So I appreciate that I am able to buff this in and get a little bit lighter shade, especially for a transition or if you're going for a little less bold look. Then I'm going to pick up this shade here. It reminds me of a blue periwinkle hybrid. It's got a little bit of blue, it's got a little bit of purple, and I'm going to actually buff that in my crease. Just to deepen up the crease, I am going to leave the transition shade above this so you can see that I'm only putting this in the crease, not going above the crease. Again, just to add a little bit of depth. Of course, test out another shade in the palette and bring in more of that blue cool tone vibe that I want for the overall look. This shade is blending out beautifully. What I'm really liking about this palette so far is I'm able to really buff and blend. If I go back and forth with that windshield wiper motion, I can really blend that out to make it less intense, which, like I said, is a really good thing because there is a lot of mid-tone and deep mattes in this palette and really no light mattes. So that's really nice that we can buff it out enough to make it a little bit less intense or build it up to make it a little bit more bold. So I've applied that really fun periwinkle shade in the crease. One last time going into that first shade, that brown that we used for the transition, and I'm going to just buff that on the top just to blend everything in the crease together. I really like this brown shade. It's such a good addition to the palette. Now, to deepen up the outer corner, which is something I do with every look, it really adds depth. We have options. We could actually use this shade, this shade, this shade, or even this shade. So this one is a little bit more brown leaning. This one looks more black, and then this is about 2 shades deeper than our crease shade with that more of a purple tone to it. I think what I want to do is try out the deep dark kind of black shade in the palette. I don't know if this is a true black or if it's more of a purple leaning black. Ooh, she's pretty. So this is really a deep dark purple. Wow. That is so beautiful. It definitely looks black in the pan, but then when you apply it to the eye, it's got a little bit of a purple vibe to it, which I really, really like. It's definitely cool toned. Could we call it a cool toned black? We might be able to call it a cool toned black with a purple undertone. So I do have a little kick up in the pan, which typically means pigmentation, but I have no fallout, which is really, really nice considering that was a deep dark shade. Picking up that same fluffy brush that we use for the crease, I am just going to give that, as usual, kind of a quick blend. As always, I'm using my NYX Glitter Glue as my base. I just tap that on my lid and that's going to give me a nice tacky base for my shimmers. Again, keeping them in place, preventing them from creasing, and again, giving that true shimmer and opacity. And as always, I want to show you application with the finger and with the brush for the shimmers. That's really the true test, in my opinion, how good the formula is. So I want to focus on a deeper shimmer shade on the outer, about half of my lid. So I'm going to pick up this darkest shimmer in the palette. This is so incredibly beautiful. And I'm going to tap that on, again, that outer half of my lid, not onto the deep shade that we deepened up the outer corner, but right next to that. Look how beautiful that is. That was one tiny tap into that shimmer. Glamlite shimmers are always absolutely a 10 out of 10. They're so sparkly, they're so beautiful. I never have an issue with creasing ever with Glamlite shimmers. And this is stunning. Look how pretty that is. Love that cool tone blue. And then for the inner portion of my lid, I'm going to grab this gray silver kind of gunmetal shade, picking that up on a flat, dense brush and popping that on the inner portion of my lid and blending that right on top of and over with that blue. This shade is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. It is gunmetal. It's not silver, it's not black, it's like a silver black, literally like a gunmetal. It's picking up beautifully on a brush, it's applying beautifully on a brush. Now for my lower lash line, I want to use another one of the mattes. Like I said, I want to test out as many of the mattes as possible. So we've used this one in the dark black. Let's go ahead and pick up this kind of deeper eggplant purple and pull that on the lower lash line. Just buff that in. I don't know if you can see the difference, but this definitely is deeper, darker black, and that definitely has more of that eggplant purple. So those shades are very different applied to the eye. I mean, they're different looking in the pan as well, but I appreciate that you could use either one of those as that deep shade, depending on if you want more black, smoky, or if you want a little bit more purple. Look how pretty that is. I'm digging this smoky, sultry eye. And then I'm going to pick up this shimmer shade here, which is right next to that matte, and I'm going to buff that on the lower lash line. I love a good shimmery lower lash line. And I'm hoping that will bring in a little bit more of the blue that we used on the shimmer on the lid. Oh yeah, that is so pretty. But definitely brightened that under eye, added that little bit of a blue tone. And then I want to do the inner corner and use one of the other shimmers. So I would say we could go with either one of these. This one has kind of a pink blue shift, white, icy white. So I'm going to use that one only because we did bring in quite a bit of blue into this look. And I'm going to pop that on the inner corner. Whoa. I love this shade. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is hands down my favorite shimmer shade in this whole palette. You could put this all over the lid. That would be so stunningly beautiful. It is so icy, but blue. Wow. It is, to me, it looks at least a duochrome, maybe even more on the vibe of a multi-chrome because it does shift from white to blue to pink. That is absolutely the most gorgeous shimmer shade. I love that. That is this one right here in the palette. Wow, absolutely beautiful. So let me go ahead and do liner, mascara, and then I'll be back and we'll do our lips together with the lip kit. So I applied a liner and mascara. I was thinking when I was putting my mascara on that this bold, smoky, sultry eye look would look amazing with false lashes. I'm just not feeling false lashes today. I do wear them a lot, but today I went with just mascara, and now I'm ready to use the lip kit. So the lip kit is really a fantastic deal. You get a lip liner, a bullet lip, and a lip gloss. Now you guys know that I don't love bullet lips. I don't use them that often. I'm very much a liquid lip or gloss person, but it came in the kit and I'm excited to test it out. I really like Glamlite's bullet lipstick formula. I have their Chucky collection and it's really, really nice quality. So first let's do the liner. This is a twist up lip liner. I also appreciate that because I hate having to sharpen everything, find a sharpener, keep a sharpener, clean out the sharpener. So I appreciate that this is a twist up. So let me go ahead and line my lips. Ooh, it's really, really creamy. This is a really nice formula. It's very creamy. I love the color. It's very neutral. It's very nude, which is really good with this eyeshadow, with the eyeshadow palette since it is so bold and so sultry. Now we're going to use the bullet lip. The packaging, so stinking cute. It looks like a piece of the cookies and cream chocolate bar. So you can see that the bullet lip is about a shade lighter than the liner, which is exactly what you want. It's a really nice formula. It's a really nice formula. It's very creamy. It went on really nice. Feels really good on the lips. I could see myself using this, even though, like I said, I'm not a bullet lip person. But this is really, really nice. And then lastly, we have the matching gloss. I love Glamlite's glosses, so I'm sure this one is going to be equally as good. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty. So the gloss is one shade deeper than the bullet lip. So in the swatches, we saw that too. So this is going to be the deepest. Then we have a little bit lighter with the bullet and then kind of right in the middle with the gloss. So it's the perfect combination. The gloss smells really good. Smells vanilla-y, very, very juicy on the lips, not sticky at all. So that's the cookies and cream lip kit. So let me do something with my hair, get dressed for the day, and I'll be back to share my final thoughts. All right, I am ready for the day. I put myself together and I'm ready to share my final thoughts on the Glamlite Cookies and Cream Hershey's collection. So let's go ahead and start with the eyeshadow palette. You guys, I love this palette. I love everything about this palette. I love the color story. I love that it's cool toned. I love that it's neutral with gray and blue. The looks that I can see out of this palette are endless. Like I said, you could definitely go more on the neutral side, the blue side, the gray side. You could do the smoky, sultry look, kind of like what I did today. I can see myself reaching for this palette a lot, and this is a unique color story to my collection. And I have a large eyeshadow palette collection. And like I said, I could see myself reaching for this a lot. The shades were very pigmented and blendable, not patchy. Like I said, there's some kick up in the pan, but no fallout at all when applying the shades. 10 out of 10. I really, really like this. I kind of am kicking myself for not picking up the neutral palette. The reason I didn't is because it's a color story I have. I actually have the Glamlite Chocolate Martini palette, which to me looked fairly similar. So that's why I went with this one. I'm really glad that I did though, because this is such a unique color story to my collection. And then the little cookies and cream highlighter duo. As always, Glamlite's highlighter formula is really good. It's very buttery and blends and melts into the skin. I love this. I think this is beautiful. And I appreciate that you can apply it a little bit more naturally and then build it up if you want a little bit more bold highlight. You guys know I love a good bold highlight, so I built mine up. Beautiful, beautiful, as always, highlighter formula. And then what I was probably the most pleasantly surprised about was the lip kit. Now, like I said, I like Glamlite's bullet lips, but I'm not a bullet lip person, but I kind of am now because I really love this combination. It is neutral, it is nude, but it is unique and different, and it definitely is the perfect pairing with this eyeshadow palette. Your eye look is so bold, and it's good to have more of a neutral lip. I love that they are off in shade a little bit so that your liner's the deepest, your bullet lip is the lightest, and then your lip gloss is kind of right in the middle. I mean, this lip, I love this. I can, again, see myself wearing this lip combination a lot. So I am so happy that I went ahead and picked that up as well. Overall, I think the Cookies and Cream portion of the collection is incredible. I absolutely love the palettes. I love the lip kit, and I definitely can see myself wearing this a lot. Let me know down below, did you pick up any of the Hershey's collection, or did I sway you to maybe gravitate towards the Cookies and Cream? And of course, all the other makeup that I'm wearing today will be linked down below with my favorite beauty boxes, all of the Glamlite Hershey's collection, and come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. As always, I am thrilled I have this in my makeup collection, and it's going to get a lot of use.